Welcome to my Let's Play of Spelunky. This is episode 13, and I'm Psychedelic Eyeball. So I guess that the last Mexican that we played as had a little bit too much going on with him because, well, he had this colorful hat, this colorful mustache and everything, so I figure for this next playthrough we need to go all the way back to basics. We only need one piece of clothing, one set of hair, and only one eye. And this time, we will succeed in bringing this key all the way back to the Tunnel Man. This way, I'm gonna make real sure to not get sidetracked by all of these optional paths, and we're just gonna keep our eyes on the big prize. And speaking of big prize, hello there, handsome. Oh boy, so I guess we're gonna have to waste some items already, or I don't know, maybe we can be creative. Yes, being creative always have its merits. And it's a good thing that I didn't end up wasting a rope, because so far it doesn't seem as if there's anything worth of value all the way down here, so we're just gonna cut to the chase. Also, one fun fact considering the pots. Usually whenever you break them open, you end up seeing only stuff like snakes, spiders, the occasional scorpion and all of this, but every once in a while, and I mean very once in a while, as in all of the time that I've spent playing this game, I never ended up seeing a single one of those. Sometimes you will end up seeing an alien inside the pots, but I've never seen it happen myself, and the only reason why I know this is true was because I watched one of my friends stream this game at one point, and during his said stream, well, he ended up seeing one of those aliens inside the pot, and it was right here in the mines. At least I gotta say, doing one of those runs where you bring the key all the way down to the Tunnel Man is still kind of chill, because even though this is a playthrough where you can't really aspire to get anywhere constructive in terms of getting to the secret exit of this game, it can still be pretty fun because you don't really give a damn about how most of the run will end up turning out. The only thing that ends up mattering is if you bring the key all the way to the guy. Instead of having to worry about a whole lot of things like, will I bring enough money in the black market in order to get... okay, hello, I really did not see you at all. I gotta say, however, fighting giant spiders in the dark like that is pretty intimidating because it becomes quite harder to keep track of where they jump and all of this, so you have to be extra careful. More so considering that the big spiders end up dealing 2 damage whenever they hit you, but at least we prevailed. Yeah, even with the torch, I still barely could see it. I mean, I could end up seeing the little cobwebs that indicate that there's a giant spider here, but that's pretty much the only indication that I ended up having. But yeah, other than the key, there's not really a whole lot of pressure, but right now, this could be the hardest part of the playthrough, because if the key ends up being in this one level, then it's gonna be troublesome finding it into this darkness, so we're gonna have to pretty much look through this entire level to make sure that we're not missing anything. I only have one eye, but I can still hear you. But once that we finally get the key, we will just embark on a massive escort mission where our only objective will be to keep this key into our hands and make sure that it doesn't escape our grasp. Instead of trying out dumb stuff like I showcased at the end of the other update, where I just ended up throwing things like that into places where I could not see, and with pretty much undesirable results. So I think I pretty much went through the entire level, and I failed to notice a single key, so here's to hoping that I didn't end up having an oversight of some sort, and hope that the key is indeed in level 4. I usually get nervous whenever the key is in the final level like that, because you always start thinking that you might have ended up overlooking the key at some point, so here's to hoping. Now, you might have noticed that I stopped picking up the golden idol in the mines levels, and the main reason for that is, in the first few videos, I usually will always pick up the idol because I only was trying to beat the game regularly and I really didn't care whether I would get the Hujet high or not. But considering that in these last few videos our main goal will be to get to the secret exit of the game, I just cannot allow myself to pick up the idol and let the key be crushed or any other unfortunate accident of the sort. Okay, so mission accomplished. The key is in our grasp and we're going to be able to secure it. Also, I probably should thank all of that chain reaction with the powder boxes that have been happening, because if it wasn't for that, I would have needed to spend a whole lot more bombs in order to be able to get to that goal. Also, thank you Kelly for handing me the powers of the pitching mitt. One of my favorite gimmicky items of the game. It's one of those items that you don't necessarily need in order to finish the game, but it's always so good for a laugh because it just makes your throw super powered and it allows you to do things that you normally never will be able to see. And in those playthroughs where you usually end up having to juggle with a whole lot of items, it can end up being very convenient because you can just wind up and do one of those really wild pitches through a very tiny hallway by throwing the item in a totally straight line until it hits the wall as planned. So here's to hoping that I'm not gonna do anything horribly stupid and, you know, just end up tossing the key into a bottomless pit or go visit a Black Knight that will make mincemeat out of me with his shield. I figured that at this point we're just gonna take the safer route. Even though that in the end, there's not really a whole lot of things that are safe with the jungle. And yeah, those honey patches that you find in the beehive will get items stuck inside of them, but as long as the honey patches are on the ground, you're still able to take them, even though they appear to be completely in the air. But if the honey patches happen to be on the ceiling, then you will need to use a bomb in order to blow up the entire honey patch, because otherwise you're not gonna get your item back. So now that I have all of this extra health, I shall be in a good position to make it all the way through. Hopefully, because you can be sure that one of those sticky traps or even just regular hole spikes could end this playthrough really quickly. After all, you've seen in this game that health is a lot easier to lose in this game than it is to earn it. I mean, right now we have 10 health, so everything is all fine and dandy. I mean, we're gonna have 10 health whenever I'll be unstuck with this damsel, but yeah, it doesn't change the fact that we're pretty much gonna be indestructible, but guess at how long it's gonna take for this to go away. Normally, I'm not really a huge fan of these levels where you just end up dropping through pretty much the entire level right at the beginning, but in the case of our special playthrough that we're doing right now, this is very good news because it means we're gonna be able to zoom to the exit really fast. But it doesn't mean that we must not take any of the items in our way. And yeah, of course I'm nuking this wall because I need to stick on my last rope that I have. Who knows whenever he'll finally be handy. Also, holy shit, this is the one playthrough that I have where that game pretty much shits out elf everywhere. There's damsels everywhere, there was a beehive earlier. So what else will I get that will make it so that I will become an unstoppable Cyclops of death? But then again, I really shouldn't look down on all of the health that I'm getting, because whenever I'll get down to the highest caves, with the lack of items that I have, it's gonna be quite harder, but is it really what I think it is? There's a little bit patch of grass over here. Yes, I managed to find the black market again without the Hujat High, so yeah, at this point, we might have a new playthrough onto our hands, because as it is right now, we might be able to go to the secret ending, provided that we pull everything off really nicely. The big obstacle that made it so that it normally will not be possible will be that finding the black market will be close to impossible under certain circumstances, but at least the game was kind enough to spawn the black market in a place where I could find it without the Hujat High. And look at that, we've got $50,000, so we'll be able to buy the ankh, so we won't even need to go there guns blazing. But with that said, you always gotta stroll by the black market really slowly, because if there's one of those sticky man jerks that have a boomerang in the vicinity, whenever they will see you, they will just throw a boomerang at you, and by throwing the boomerang at you, they will end up hitting the shopkeeper, and you will become an outlaw that will pretty much be accused of destroying the entire universe, even though that you weren't really the main culprit into this affair. And now we're gonna see one of those random occurrences that can happen in the game, which is just kinda cute. Yeah, the man-eating plants can just eat the shopkeepers, but it only lasts for a short while. In the classic version of Spelunky, it was worth your while because this was how you could get a free shotgun, and sometimes you could just get all of the items of a shopkeeper for free, but it no longer works into this one version, and in fact, he doesn't even drop a shotgun anymore whenever he's being eaten. But if you do get a shopkeeper to be eaten, and then you blow up the plant, then you will be able to kill both the plant and the shopkeeper at the same time. And we have a brand new level location or flavor text that we have going here. I sense a psychic presence here. Basically, this means that the level has a little alien outpost in the middle of it all armed with turrets, force fields, and this one alien lord which is guarding the area. You may remember seeing them in the mothership. They threw all of those homing psychic blasts at you. They were pretty deadly, and well, we have to fight one here because he guards some jewels, and we will be able to get another item here. And by the way, those force fields are not for show, because if you throw stuff at them, they will bounce back at you, just like the Black Knight shield will end up doing. Except that, well, you can control whether these work or not. And yeah, by the way, don't touch the Psychic Blast because it's pretty much instant death. So, just to make sure, well, I'm just gonna throw the bomb here in order to unravel the secret because it's too good to pass up. And yeah, behind the Alien Lord, you will always find a jetpack. So this is how you get a free jetpack into this game, just by getting this level condition. But as you've seen, it's not really the most common one that you can get in the game. Right now, however, I kinda have a dilemma on my hands, because now I either have the choice of bringing the key to the Tunnel Man or proceed with the secret ending, because if I carry on with the secret ending stuff, I won't be able to bring the key down to the Tunnel Man because I'm gonna need to kill myself at some point to get in the moai statue and get the headjet, and therefore I won't be able to carry the key with me. Or, that's what people will normally think, but there is a way that we can do things, and the way through is forward into the worm. Now, you're probably wondering why I went through the worm of the ice cave a bunch, and yet I never went in the worm while I was in the jungle? Well, whenever I'll be smacked around in the face with this key, we will be able to explain. Essentially, if you go through the jungle while going through the worm, you won't be able to get the ankh in the black market because you won't have a mean to make it appear at all, because you cannot make the black market spawn inside the worm. However, it's possible to go to the worm and yet make it so that we will be able to go through the trouble of dying and going inside the moai statue into one of the levels, even though you normally thought that it will only spawn on level 3-2 or 3-3, but we're gonna show a way that makes it so that we will be able to make it spawn in another level. But, however, that means we're gonna have to take the long and the most dangerous way. And yeah, by the way, if you want to get the Chris knife safely, this is how you do it. You drain the poison or the acid from below by tossing a bomb into the ceiling, and you will be able to drain the entire acid sludge and make it so that you will be able to proceed safely in order to get the best melee weapon of the entire game. Honestly, whenever you have the Chris knife, I'm not even sure that you need a shotgun or any ranged weapon at this point, because it's just so good. Hell, even the shotgun won't be able to do any kind of damage to those pointy bacterium. So, all in all, this was a pretty uneventful journey through the worm. As it probably should be, because this place can get very risky. Hell, doing it in only 1.5 minutes is kind of a feat, because it's definitely the longest level of the entire game whenever you get it to appear normally. So now we're on level 3-4, and now you're probably thinking, but you won't see any moai statues into this one level. And well, you're right, because there's still one final step that we need to go through in order to be able to make a moai statue appear. And essentially, the way forward will be through that one area that has continually bested us and got the best of us. We need to journey all the way back up again inside the mothership. And why are we doing that? Well, you will see whenever we'll finally emerge victorious from this one place, because there's a definite trick to all of this. And the good news is, we are able to meet the Tunnel Man, and here we go. We have him the key, and now all of the shortcuts in the game are unlocked, so we can finally stop bothering about that. And now we have a shot at trying to get to the secret ending. Oh god, okay, that's not really how you want to go to the secret ending of the game. Yeah, I probably didn't say it yet, but the Chris knife is a weapon that have two edges, because it's the most powerful weapon of the game, but it's still pretty prone on either killing things that you wouldn't want to kill, or by getting killed by things that you wouldn't want to see. And I really don't know why I'm going through... Yeah, why the hell did I even go to the trouble of getting the plasma cannon? That was such a dumb move from my hand, because, well, you know that, well, I'm just gonna let you see by yourself whenever we'll finally be here, but at this point we have no reason to not bring the plasma cannon along. And we're finally gonna get our first victory on this godforsaken level. I'm not even gonna bother with the rest of this level, I'm just gonna go here before I keep dying more and more. Yeah, that was the one thing that I'm talking about, because when you finish a mothership, instead of going forward through the game, you travel backwards, because now you have to replay another version of level 3-4. And now you're probably seeing where I'm going with all of this, considering the fact that we didn't see a moai statue yet, and yet I told you that we will see one at one point. Yep, that was pretty much the entire gist of our journey. We were to go through the mothership, and then by going to this one level, if you went through the worm previously, you'll always see a statue appear on this one level, but unfortunately I died in the mothership, and therefore we can no longer try to go through the motions of besting the secret ending of the game. So now that we have the best weapon of the entire game, coupled with the other best melee weapon of the game, we're still gonna have a shot at finishing the game proper in order to get our second victory at this game. Honestly, whenever you go in the temple with the jetpack and the plasma cannon, or as I like to call it, the alien blaster, you're pretty much invincible and you have pretty much a clear path toward the end of the game, because, well, what else can you do when you're standing against such force? This is why I love this weapon so much. I only have 4 bombs? Who cares, because I can just nuke whatever I want. Oh, that's cute, a machete. I'm so gonna need it. At this point, this purple cannon is the only thing that I need to bring along. But I said previously that this was a weapon that was also very hazardous to use, and you probably can see why because of the huge SL kickback. Because if you end up using this weapon without having a jetpack or a cape, then it becomes very easy to use this weapon and just end up nuking yourself or bouncing in a pit of spikes or lava or whatever you want, so you always gotta be careful. Destruction that comes freely pretty much comes with a price, and unfortunately it does not replace bombs, because what good is my cannon for if I cannot go through a tiny hole which is guarded by Anubis, which is blocking the way with an endless wave of psychic blast? They may be slow, but they're no less deadly. So either way, okay, I was gonna say I have 2 choices, but we're just gonna go through the main route and we're gonna nuke this son of a bitch into oblivion. First of all, we're just gonna create a hole for him to go through, and now we have a clear shot at killing him with the plasma cannon. Yeah, that's the best weapon of the entire game, hands down. I'm not too sure if this weapon could end up killing all Bitey in one hit, because it's very unlikely that you'd have a plasma cannon in the jungle, although I heard it was possible, because there is the very rare chance that you'll see a plasma cannon spawn in a crate, but the chances of that happening are close to non-existent. But I've been told that it is possible, and I even had screenshot evidence and proof. But yeah, if we didn't have any bombs, we really wouldn't have been in any kind of trouble, because then we could have just used our giant cannon in order to end up digging a path sideways, and we would have found another way down, and we probably could have ambushed Anubis from the side. But it doesn't help that, well, you still need bombs in the end, because it's always handy whenever you're dealing with stuff like the crush blocks, because they always are quite a nuisance. I really missed the point in that one playthrough where I had a whole lot of health. Now, I kinda feel like I'm all the way back to the beginning with absolutely nothing. Also, while I still don't have the Ujat High, I'm not gonna skimp anymore on the things that you will normally need, like the Ujat High, in order to see, so I'm good. Oh, yeah, you see what happens whenever you're using the Chris knife? Bad things happen, and yeah, actually, the lava doesn't kill the Crockman at all. Yeah, nothing kills those people. They're the biggest jerks of the entire universe. So yeah, when I told that you could get them to die in lava, I unfortunately was mistaken. Really, the only way to get them to die is to just get them to telefrag inside a wall, or you end up telefragging them yourself. But you need a teleporter for that, and it's not always the safest item to carry around. So yeah, I told earlier that there was a secret with this one fire pit that you see at the bottom of the screen like that, whenever you get the level condition that says, I hear prayers to Kali, and your price is a whole lot of red jewels. Holy shit, that's a lot of money. So provided that you have the explosives in order to be able to deal with all of that, well, you're gonna do really well in getting a lot of money. And we're gonna be able to just go through the very easy task of getting the golden idol without having any kind of worry, because it's not as if that we can fall in any lava right now. Honestly, if you want to go for big money and you don't want to go through the trouble of going through the secret ending or whatever, you kinda need the plasma cannon, because on the temple level it will get you such a huge source of revenues. Well, you need that, and you need a jetpack, of course. The jetpack is pretty much the first step toward getting a lot of money in this game. Also, $69,000. We definitely did well. So we're just gonna clear this arrow trap. Okay, so my caution of nuking the arrow trap in order for me to not die to an arrow is what ended up killing me, because my plasma cannon blast was what set off the trap so that it shot me in my face and killed me. Wow, that was pretty embarrassing, I gotta say, because honestly, with that loadout, you're not supposed to die. Oh no, you don't. So now that this playthrough is behind us, it's time to see what happened into past versions of our life. Well, there are two things that we must remember from this one tale that you're about to see. Either you must not be too kind to the shopkeeper and make it so that you don't fluster them in the slightest, or you must not be a jerk that will end up being too daring. Basically, my plan is I'm gonna nuke this one altar here in order to make it so that I will be able to make the boulder run under the vault, but yeah, it only would have worked if I didn't have the dumb idea of running alongside with it, but I don't know, I kind of felt like Indiana Jones for a second. And now for a daring bank robbery. Yep, it almost would have worked if, by telefragging the shopkeeper, he didn't end up killing me by dropping his gun on my face. Wow, that was really bad. So, coming up next, we're finally getting back on track into getting to the secret ending of this game.